You ready for this? Never.
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting. We're out for the good reels. You don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Bretman's over there. Special guest Caleb here with us tonight, here from the Dark Ether Files podcast again. He was here for the first time with trivia last Friday. We had a good time, and tonight we have a very awesome Slash It Out live for you with the release of Prey last Friday on Hulu. We wanted to go ahead and compare that up with the original Predator, and you guys voted for it in our poll on Facebook. So once again, Us versus Get Out's getting pushed back. But we actually have really big plans for that now, so we're excited. We'll let you know later. But tonight we're doing Predator versus Prey, and man, I'm stoked about it. Caleb, how's it going? Welcome back again. We're gonna have his stuff, his links and everything to his channel here in the bottom in the description. Him and Danner and everybody. So check those guys out. Caleb, how are you today, man?
Oh, hello there. First of all, thank you guys for having me back on. It's been a long time coming, and you guys picked a perfect Slash It Out to have me on for.
Yeah, we were talking before we went live, and Caleb here is a huge Predator fan. He knows a lot of stuff about the franchise, more stuff than I could imagine. Brett, are you? Stop it! You're not doing the Prey thing. It's not just the wrong kind of Prey.
Not wrong kind of Prey. Damn, Brad. Sorry, I was more praying for my mistake because you guys start like doing the intro stuff because I keep on always leaving this up and always forget to turn it off, man. But no, jokes aside, I'm excited for this Slash It Out, and I'm excited for Caleb to be here. Just our little pre-show just already explains enough of how much of a big fan Caleb is of this particular franchise. So we are freaking ready to get down to business so we could defeat the Huns. No, sorry, wrong movie. But
yeah, it should be an awesome matchup. So obviously, a lot of buzz about Prey when it came out. A lot of good reviews. It's in like a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is higher than the original, by the way. Yeah. 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody seems to like it a lot, saying it's the best since the original for the most part. That's a general consensus. It's not everybody's thoughts, but that's what a lot of people are saying. And we've all seen it. And Caleb, I'm not sure what you feel about it yet, the new one, but I know Brett and I liked it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this, that the movie does a lot right with the franchise. Compared to what we've got in previous years. I mean, obviously everyone thought that the 2018 film was a steaming pile of shit. But something that I wanted to make sure that I myself did, and something that I would suggest for everybody, is to not just lower your standards based on just the previous film. Because you want to have more self-respect. Like, okay, we all know that the previous film was crap. So when we want to rate this film, we don't want to just say, oh, well, at least it's better than the previous film. It's like we want to be able to analyze it. We want to be able to say, okay, how does this hold up? Not just because it's a sequel to one of the greatest action sci-fi films ever made, but also how it respects the lore that the franchise established. And I say that this film does a bit of both, in that it does a really good job of respecting the lore, but there's also some little bits of lore that they kind of just shoehorn in there that really shouldn't have been. But we can get into that later. But overall, I gave this film about a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. And I think I'm sticking with my 7.5. I say that it's a decent film that does a lot right. At the same time, it could have done things a little better.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, man. That's freaking great. And again, we're so happy to have you here. And let me go ahead and address the chat before we really get going here. Let me get scroll all the way to the top. Nick Cooling was in the chat earlier saying, I absolutely love both films. 87, a perfect golden reel 10 out of 10. And Prey with a 9.5 out of 10. So going to be a great matchup. I absolutely agree. Excuse me. Danner says Tacohantis is an evil bitch. Oh wait, wrong character. Oh my gosh. And then of course there's our Patreon of Lamontre. What's going on, my friend? Saying Brett and Brad, I hope you guys are doing good this evening. We are doing well. I'm almost at the end of my coughing spell, so I'll do my best not to cough into your all's ears. And the freaking J Man. What's going on, J Man? Saying both films are great. Nothing will beat the original Predator. Predator, a golden reel, 5 out of 5, and Prey, 4 out of 5.
Awesome, man. I've been curious how you've been thinking, what you thought about Prey.
Hell yeah.
Big
And then
Predator
there's
fan
excuse me, another patron of ours, Horde Head Heather. What's going on, Heather?
Hello and welcome.
And we
Good
got
to see you as always.
Gory Tiger in the house. Canadian Bacon Pew Pew. What's going on? Not just messing. So what's going on, Bacon? And congratulations on your kickstart on Stranded, my friend.
Yes.
And I heard the dad of the protagonist is quite a good guy. So I'm looking forward to see what his voiceover work is going to contain.
He's gonna blow it away, man. Blow it away.
I hope so, man. And then let's see here. Who else is here? I know someone else is here. Oh, I do love this comment real quick. The Predator makes my colon quench.
Yeah.
You're damn right it does.
You know, I had a good time with it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's not
you
good.
Do, you Shane Black fan.
Well, here's the thing. I just watched it for the first time like a week ago. You know, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I've heard, you know, how bad it is over the years. So I went in with really low expectations, and I was watching it, and I was like, you know what? I mean, it's not good, but I'm having a good time here. At times, I probably won't watch it again, or at least if I do, it'll be a while. But I didn't absolutely hate myself when I was watching.
You know, the funny thing is that I too have some fun with it. It's an absolutely disgusting film, especially when you look at the lore and how it treats the lore, and how they basically turned it into a freaking comedy. But there are some parts where I can have fun with it. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed at some of the jokes that that Key spat out on the bus. Just kind of laughed.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I laughed because it was a good joke or I laughed because it was so stupid. But I can have fun with it. At the same time, I wouldn't recommend someone go watch it, or at least if they're gonna watch it, make sure that they're not the one paying for it, because you shouldn't waste your money on it.
Right.
And Nick Cooling agrees with that too, saying the Predator honestly gets worse with every watch. Trust me, I'm down to 3 out of 10 at this point.
Yeah,
dude, it should even be lower than that. So, but yeah, I will not talk about it, or else we'll be here for another hour of how much I hate the Predator, because I'll pretty much say the same sentence over and over again for a straight hour, which is pretty much I fucking hate that movie. So before we begin with our tale to tape, and then we'll explain how our slash it outs go. If you're new to slash it out, we are going to be talking about Prey, which is a recent new movie. So there is going to be spoilers. We'll do our best to not try to spoil as much, but it is a new one and we are going to get into it. So there could be some spoilers. So let me, actually, you don't want to hear it from me. Let's bring out Darth Stewie real quick.
No, oh, hang on. Spoiler alert. Okay.
Thank you, Darth Stewie. Thank you, Darth Stewie. Always my man, always bringing it out right there. So, all right. So let's freaking get into our tale to tape. And this is honestly the easiest tale to tape I've ever made. You know why? Because we don't know jack shit about it, because it's a Hulu original. So it's hard to look up numbers for a budget and all that. Unless if somebody knows the budget, then please let me know in the chat. But this does not get a box office, which I will, I'll go ahead and let you know right now. I absolutely hated that. Probably should have easily been a theatrical release. But Caleb, we'll start with you first. Anything that catches your eye about these numbers?
Well, first of all, Predator is the ranking is very low. That should be a hell of a lot higher. The movie does it does something that Halloween does, funny enough. Something that I will be mentioning in my review, but I'll say it here, that it was able to, I would say, fine-tune tropes and cliches from the genres that it's dipping its feet into, and fine-tuning it and making it a coherent and entertaining film. Because if you were to split the film into two parts, the first 30 minutes is your typical 1980s action film that we've seen countless times with Rambo, John McClane, you know, and then when we get into the second half, that's where it goes into sci-fi horror territory, something we're familiar with things like Friday the 13th, where you have a single mass killer racking up a body count, stalking, you know, unwitting survivors, getting taken down one at a time. And what Predator does is be able to blend those two genres together into a fantastic film. And I would say that Predator is severely underrated. according to IMDb there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, for as much as I've been on IMDb, like getting the results and like numbers and all that, 7.8 is actually a really damn good score for a type of movie The Predator is. And I am surprised it's over Prey. At this point, not that I'm saying that Prey is a better movie. Like, I don't know, we'll freaking get into it to make that final determination. But I'm just saying, I expected Prey, with all the praise it's getting right now, to be higher than a 7.8 over Predator. But 7.3 is still absolutely great too, and it actually critics, of course, I knew it was going to be very higher over Predator, but the audience score, not a shock at all. Brad, do you see anything with all these numbers?
Yeah, I mean, same thing Caleb was saying, man. I've always been a little bit surprised by the Predator score, how low it is. Yeah, not that 80's that low. I mean, that's still a solid score, but I always expected it to be at least 85, low 90s, somewhere in there. Yeah, I mean, right up there with Alien. I think it's kind of in the same realm of that. Yeah, outside of that, no major surprises. I mentioned earlier how the critic score is higher for Prey than Predator. I could see where they're going, I guess. With that, audience score doesn't really surprise me. So yeah, nothing too crazy. I think it's all pretty fair for the most part.
Oh yeah. So okay, well, let's freaking just go with that. And Brad, explain to our audience, if someone's new to Slash Out and our new Slash Out concept, what will we be doing?
Yeah, what we're going to do, man, we're going to talk about what both movies do well, what both movies don't do so well, and then what Prey does better than Predator, and what Predator does better than Prey, and then our final thoughts, our rating, and all that fun stuff, and which one we prefer at the end. And yeah, it should be a good time. I think these are very good. It's a good comparison, if you will.
Absolutely. And before we truly get started, Kyle returned to Living Flat, one of our patrons. What's going on, my friend?
Hello and welcome.
Yes, sir.
Hello
And then, gosh almighty, excuse me. J-Man says, I love how Prey is all about the hunt. As far as showing the hunt, maybe the best one. And that's a very strong but very true statement right there. And then the Predator in Prey was played by a guy named Dan. Yeah, absolutely there was. I kind of chuckle with that, and also said we will do a watch along for the Predator when we get my series started, because it is straight out the dumpster.
All right. Predator dogs, man.
Oh my gosh. And then the king of Venation.
That's my my father.
Hey, what's going on,
welcome.
Mr. Caleb? How are you doing? What's up, folks? Glad to be here with y'all. And we're glad for you to be here, and welcome to Good Real Hunting, where we hunt for the good real so you do not have to. So without further ado, let's get started. And once again, we will do our best not to try to spoil Prey as much. We will try our best. So let's freaking get into it, guys, with our first category. What both movies do well. So again, this is talking about what both movies do well. So Caleb, you are our guest, so you get to start us off, my friend. So what do both movies do well?
Both movies do well in showing the ferociousness of the Predator. What I really like about Prey is how they took their time to show that this Predator is gradually moving up the food chain. They could have easily done it to where the Predator straight up just kills humans. It's like, okay, now we know what's going on. But instead, they opted for having the Predator, observe. And that's what the Predator has always done. Throughout all these films, the Predator has always observed the prey before going into the strike to kill. And I like how the Predator is observing, the smallest things, from the snake eating the rat to the wolf going after the rabbit. And it's fantastic to see how they're able to portray that. And I'm glad they did it, because they really took their time to show that this Predator is learning the environment. With the original Predator, they don't do it quite the same, but I don't really find that to be an issue, because you have to remember that 1987 Predator is the first time we're introduced to this creature. So anything that it does in the first film, we're getting this for the first time. And that's why I say that, as a Predator fan or as someone that watched Prey, make sure that you give the original Predator a watch so that you know where this franchise started. because the original Predator did a lot of great things for the genre, and it gave us a really nice creature. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, and dude, that's a great point. You're actually the second person because Braden actually touched upon that on Tuesday about how the Predator was moving up that food chain, and I love that small detail about the Predator, just to bring us something new to it. But I absolutely agree that the Predators were absolutely ferocious, and I love it. The more violent the Predator, the better. So that's freaking great, and I totally agree with that. Brad, what do you think both movies do well?
I think the simplicity, man. I think that's big. I think that's really where all the other movies in the franchises failed for me, is they're trying to do too much with it. You know, Predators. You know, we're going out here to Predator Land, and we're just there's predators everywhere, and just a bunch of characters you don't really like, and I like all that stuff silly. But in Prey, and then in the original Predator, it's about a group of a group of individuals or an individual going up against somebody that outmatches you pretty heavily, and that's really the simplicity of it in a cool environment. The first time we had the jungle, now we're in the plains, and the environment's also an aspect, something to think about in both of those movies. So I really like that a lot. And then kind of just the reveal in both instances of the Predator, just kind of, the first movie does, I mean, we could, I'll talk about it later, I guess, but the first movie is more of a slower reveal, whereas in Prey, you kind of see him a little bit earlier on and whatnot, but all that's cool, and then whenever the third act comes, you have your protagonist going against the Predator, and it's a good time, man. It's, outmatched and outgunned, and, you got to do what you can to freaking tear it up, man.
Yeah, dude, absolutely agree with you on that as well. Because I do love the setting of both of those, because we got the jungle and the woods, both excellent environments for a Predator versus, being in the Arctic, with Alien versus Predator. But even though, oh gosh, thunderstorm. So if I get freaking goodbye, you know where I'm at.
Blown away.
Yeah, blown away. So, or if I have the three dots right there, I'm screwed. But yeah, well, I think both movies do well. Brad kind of alluded to it already, but I'll freaking just go in more detail. It's the third act. Where our main protagonists fight the Predator in the third act, and the action sequences were spectacular. With freaking Dutch versus Predator, and then Naru versus the Predator. Both characters do absolutely a great job selling like the injuries and the fight scenes, and just making it look so damn good. And that's another positive what both movies do well as well. For a movie being out in '87, for me, it actually still holds up wise, like cinematography wise. It still looks a really damn good movie. While freaking Prey, it's not fully the best, but for the most part, Prey is an excellently shot and colorful film. So I thought, like, damn, I could keep going right there, but both movies do well on those two things.
Yeah, I do want to mention this. So I've always had this fascination with the idea of predators going up against Native Americans. For anyone who's watched the movie Apocalypto, you'll understand exactly where I'm going with this. First of all, Apocalypto, directed by Mel Gibson, is a fantastic film that shows Native Americans, though not in North America, more so South America. But when I watched that movie as a kid, which is pretty crazy because that movie is very violent, but even after watching it as a kid, watching it as an adult, I always imagined what would happen if you were to drop a predator into this film. And I sort of got my answer with Prey, which is nice because I've always wanted to see that. So that's something that Prey does well, is that it kind of gives a dream come true type thing. Of course, with everything that's happened in this franchise so far, it was only a matter of time before they would go into these time periods, which I think that the franchise should do more of. We should see more of these different timelines, more of these different cultures. The next one I want to see is having the Predator go up against Japanese samurai. That's my next thing, and I think it will, with the success of
our buddy
Prey.
Chris will love that.
Yeah, with the success of Prey so far, which I'm glad, because I don't want this franchise to fail. I mean, I have my problems with Prey. with that said, at the end of the day, I don't want this franchise to fail because the 2018 film just hit the the bare minimum, the bare bottom of the barrel. So I want this franchise to succeed. They just need to continue doing what they're doing, but also do a few other things to sort of improve in the future. For me, anyway.
Dude, absolutely.
I saw some. I don't know who said it. I can't remember if it was Facebook or Instagram or a video. I honestly have no clue. But somebody said to plop the Predators in the Viking era. That would be kind of cool too. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I agree with that though. I think that's a very good point. And yeah, obviously, I think there's a lot of different things you could do with it overall. But yeah, man. I think just both of these movies share that that simple aspect of it. And I think going back in time actually was a big, like 400 years before was a great call because I mean, you thought they were outgunned in 86, 87, freaking in the 1700s, man. Come on, get out of here.
Yeah.
It's like it's game over, man.
Yeah.
But Brother Fluff, what's going on? Another Patreon of ours. Prey was based on an MC Hammer song. Oh my gosh. Brother Fluff, behave yourself in the chat, please. Gory Tiger says there is a fan film Predator that's kind of like Prey on YouTube. Yeah. And someone mentioned that actually on the stream I did with Brayden on Tuesday, and it has like millions of views on there. So I do have it on the watch later list, and I do plan on watching it because I gotta see what the hell that's all about.
I know what they're talking about, and I mean, in fact, I saw a few people on YouTube saying that that Disney was plagiarizing this fan film. That's not entirely true, because what I found out before this movie came out was that Prey had actually been in production, or at least it was being worked on since before the 2018 film even released. So this was a long time project that finally came to fruition. So, sort of doing a little fact checking, if you will. That this film wasn't really plagiarizing because it was already in the works, and plus, I mean, just look at me for example, and think of how many other people thought, "Hey, predators versus natives." Wonder how that would go. It's something that people contemplate because you see something that you love, and then you try and find ways to enhance your enjoyment of it. So, I mean, I've seen people say predators versus dinosaurs. I say, why not? Have something set in the Cretaceous period, having predators, take on a T-Rex. I mean, we've seen predators take on, a giant alien queen, and that guy is like, 10, 12 feet tall. It's big. So, seeing a predator go up against dinosaurs, I mean, why not at this point? As long as you can make it a good story and entertaining to watch, why not?
Hey, you never
Fuck
know,
it.
because they want to combine like Fast and the Furious with freaking dinosaurs at one point. Like Don Toretto, it's like a quarter mile on my T-Rex. Oh my gosh! But hey, anything is possible. And I want to give a shout out to freaking Mega Cat. What's going on, man? Welcome to Good Real Hunting.
Hello and welcome.
Yes, sir. He's been in Dave McRae's chats and Slaughter Lamb's chat, and Mega Cat is a really good dude, man. So we're glad to have you. So anything else y'all have for what both movies do well?
Yeah, I think they both do a really good job of building the Predator up. I harped on it a little bit earlier, but I think they both build him up to be this freaking, this insurmountable freaking threat against our protagonist. And even in the original Predator, when you have a group of badasses, Arnold and Carl Weathers and all these other guys, they're out there, they're tearing shit up in the woods. They just freaking destroyed this whole village down here. They just did this whole freaking mission. They tore shit up. They did a great job of building the Predator up against them and him taking them out one at a time. But my man, he just ripped freaking Carl Weathers' arms off, straight off. And dude's got some freaking arms, man. He's got some
his boxing career's over.
Yeah,
he can no longer. He's all ripped up over there, bitch. He can no longer box. I think that was awesome to do that though, because I mean they were out of ammo, but he still had his guns, and then he didn't have those anymore. They got ripped right out of there. So I thought that was good. That really set him up. And then he also, anytime, like you said, those red dots, man, when you get those red dots, it's too late. It's you bang, man. Where the red dot goes, you bang. So I think Yeah, that's dangerous, and they did a great job of that. And in the 80s, man, they didn't really have it was all practical effects, which was awesome. So yeah, and then the new movie Prey, I thought they did the same thing, just building that thing up, killing bears and shit with his bare hands, the bare hands.
Damn it!
Yes.
You took my damn you! You took my pun.
Slicing wolves up, taking that whole freaking the catcher guys, the trappers, I guess they were, the French guys, freaking taking them all out, just freaking whatever, man, just badass. So by the time they do finally have that, conflict at the end, that mano-a-mano freaking battle, it's, it means something. It's not just freaking another predator. It's somebody that's actually freaking badass.
Right.
Yeah.
Something I think they also do well, and this is more so for I would maybe say hardcore Predator fans, but maybe even casuals can relate to this, is the sound effects for the Predator's vision and their roars. Something that I was pissed off about as these films started going along is that they started changing up some of the sounds a bit. And I'm going to get into this on the things that Prey doesn't do well, but I'll say the positives here. That the Predator vision sound, in 1987, even in 97, it had a certain sound to it, and it was always a fantastic sound. Like when you heard that sound, you knew, the Predator's vision, and then the Predator's roar. I like Prey's Predator roar because it mixes some of the original Predator, but at the same time they add in a little bit more of a bestial sort of sound to it. Like it's not quite perfected like the Predators we know. It's more monstrous and feral because they've dubbed this Predator as the feral Predator, where he's a lot more aggressive. He's not as calculated as some of the other Predators we've seen in this franchise, and I like that. I appreciate that we're seeing a different kind of Predator with different kinds of experiences compared to what we've got before. It's nice to change things up. So that's something else that these movies do well, with the sounds of the Predator, the vision, and the roar.
Yeah, I agree with that. Both just pretty much the overallness of the Predator creatures in both films, absolutely spectacular, and easily the best ones in the entire franchise. Did y'all have because I can't think of anything else. Do y'all have anything else for what both movies do well?
Landscapes, shots of the jungle and shots of the plains. I'm a big proponent of seeing really nice visuals, and especially with a Predator film, because there was something so cool and mysterious, and something that really tickles the imagination with the original Predator being in that jungle. The visuals, obviously, they actually shot it in a real jungle. They went down, I believe it was in Mexico, if I remember correctly, where they were actually down on set. And just the authentic feel, because with a lot of movies these days, especially with like some of the superhero films, it's always CGI. It's always green screen, and it doesn't feel as authentic. But with Predator, and I know Prey even was on set too, so that's why I know that the authentication and the experience that I'm feeling is genuine. The landscapes are beautiful. Both films do a really good job of showing the environment that the story is taking place in, and just beautiful shots. I mean, I remember I was watching Prey last night, and the scene where Naru is with her dog, where they're kind of camped out after she's eating some of the rabbits. You have this really beautiful shot of the mountain range and the sky. It's fucking beautiful, dude. It's fantastic. It's just really appealing to the eyes to see.
Yeah, it makes the environment, the atmosphere that a character in both of these movies. Really, I mean, it plays into it. And another thing to kind of add on top of that is the score for both of these really good music all around. And what I like that Prey did is they didn't recycle the main theme from the Predator movie back in the day, which is a great tune. But I'm glad that they went a different direction. They did their own thing, and I thought it was very good. It was a good score, man. It was solid.
Oh yeah, it's definitely saw it. So good call, guys, on that, especially like with the score and the environment. Hell yeah. Let me get to these comments, and then let's see. Let me get to these comments real quick. Dander's saying there was a dinosaur looking skull in the trophy room in Predator 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So hey, they already did kill a dinosaur, but hey, we still want to see it on screen. Damn it!
Let's check it out.
And then Nick Cooley kind of touched upon what you said, Caleb, with your samurai theory. He said, let him take out the gladiators, ninjas, etc. The possibilities, man. The possibilities.
Oh,
Pirates, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that because
friggin' one of them's got to be Steve the Pirate.
There is, and I was going to hold off on it, but now that you mention it, I'm just gonna talk about when we get into the things that I didn't like. It'll be a little bit of a spoiler too.
Oh yeah, we're about to get into it.
It's something that it's going to be worth talking about.
Hell yeah, and we're about to get into it shortly. Predator versus something similar to The Thing would be pretty awesome, dude.
Absolutely.
That would be an amazing crossover.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, if you could combine a John Carpenter score with the freaking Predator.
Yes.
Ruffer Fluff, why are you giving my hopes up like that? And then, of course, what's going on, Cody Snyder? How is the poll even a question right now? Let me go ahead and check on the poll right now. 13 votes, 85% go with Predator from 1987. Shocker. I am not surprised. Not surprised by that.
There's some votes for Prey, though, huh?
No, yeah.
I know. Hey, I knew that was coming too, but it's very tough, Mega Cat. It is very fucking tough.
Yeah, indeed it is.
But we're on the rise, baby, for now. But
again.
So, yeah. Oh no, we suck again. No, I'm just messing. But all right, guys, you ready to go into the next category?
Let's hit it, Chewy.
All right, let's freaking do it, man. And Kevin, of course, we'll start review. But what do both movies don't do well? So this is the category. Pretty much we're going to shit on both movies if there's something to shit on about. Which, for me, not quite as much. Just like immediately that comes to mind. But Caleb, you already say you have some problems, so
yeah.
Go ahead.
So I mean, there's a few things. The first thing I'm going to mention is that I didn't really like the soundtrack for Prey. And here's why. It's not so much that the soundtrack itself was bad. It's just that it was lacking in that Predator-esque tone. See, because it's a good thing, like you said, Brad, that they didn't just straight up recycle the theme. I can agree with that. With that said, most films in the franchise have used Predator-esque music somehow. In fact, I would say that Predator 2 did it best, where they built on the original soundtrack, also because Alan Silvestri was the music composer for both of them. But if you listen to the soundtrack of Predator 2, it's a lot more tribal than the original. And in fact, for me, that enhances it. And what I felt was lacking in Prey was not only that soundtrack, but you guys know, especially the first two films, but since we're talking about the original, the drum sound. The tribal drum sound that you hear, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was lacking in this film. And it's not like, oh, well, you know, that would have just been some fan service. Almost every film has utilized that drum in some form or another. And they should have used it here because it would have been the most appropriate. It would have fit the most out of all the sequels. This is where it would have fit the most. And there were moments in the movie where it was complete silence. And for some of the scenes, it worked. They need to have complete silence.
Right.
No music, just the sound effects.
I agree.
At the same time, there were moments in there where they should have had at least the tribal drum sound because it would have enhanced the experience.
Especially during the bear fight.
Yeah. The thing is that music plays a big part in human experience and our experience with movies. And I can't remember if it was you guys. It might have been you guys where there was a test screening for the original Halloween where they used John Carpenter's soundtrack, and then when they didn't, and the audience said that the one with Carpenter's soundtrack was better than without.
Correct.
And I sort of utilize, or I have that mindset when I go into this film, that there should have been some things in there that are more Predator-esque, and the soundtrack wasn't there for me. And, you know, again, it's not like, okay, they should have just straight up used the same song, but there are certain things that make a Predator film. One of those things is the sound and the soundtrack, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
that makes
one thing.
that makes plenty of sense, man. I agree with that because score used in the bear scene kind of kind of didn't make sense a whole lot. But but I still love the fight and all that. But yeah, I agree with you. There's scenes where it should be with no music, and there's scenes where it should be used with music. But kind of like you said, it kind of is missing that little drum beat. So I definitely agree with you on that. The a negative, like kind of like what both movies don't do well for me. And this is, trust me, this is a small margin, but it's just something that I actually thought about when I was thinking about it. It's just both of the middle acts were a little bit slow. But there's a reason for it, because again, it is a slow build, like especially for the first one where we get the predator. But to me, at times it just seemed too slow, and it just need to be a little bit more quicker pace. Which the pacing for both movies is fine. It's just, again, just the smallest margin. Especially with Prey, I kind of witnessed that. I kind of went on too long with some stuff in the second act. But the first and third acts of both movies, the pacing was spectacular. It's just that second act where I had just the tiniest of problems with of it being a little too slow.
I don't really have much that I don't think that both movies don't do well.
I know, man. I had that freaking dug in the barrel right there.
Yeah, that's right. I think they're both really solid, well made flicks. And as far as the music goes, the drums would have been cool. That would have been kind of nice. I like the reason I do like that soundtrack though is it's, to me, it separates itself from the rest of the pack. It's really kind of almost, it feels like a fresh reboot. Instead of this, Predator music, we're getting like adventure music, almost like freaking grand, big, like freaking. It matches with the landscapes and stuff like that. We get these big, wide open landscapes with this freaking triumphant, almost like we're going on an adventure kind of music that really just makes it feel. And that's really kind of what the movie is that, and then. You got to overcome the predator to achieve your goals and all this stuff. Like it's really kind of like a coming of age kind of story, and I think it goes with that. So I don't know, I like it, but the drums would have been cool. The drums would have been cool.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Like again, totally agree with that. Let me get these two comments real quick. Destiny, what is going on? Say, hey, y'all, I haven't seen either of these. Destiny,
You're
I've
doing
already
yourself
told you.
a disservice.
I know. I already said it plenty enough times to her. She knows what I'm thinking right now. Watch it. But anyways, but Destiny, we're so glad to have you here. We're so far doing good with not spoiling anything with Prey. So if you want to hang out with us, you can. We're so glad to have you here in the chat. And then Danner says, I wish Prey didn't repeat. If it bleeds, we can kill it. I actually really love that, just because I did the whole Leo point and everything. It's like, but it was the smallest margin of like referencing the 87 movie. But you have to be like a real Predator fan in order to recognize that.
See, here's the thing. Me and Danner, we actually did a watch along for this. So it wasn't a live stream watch along. It was just like a private watch along. Got a few of the guys together. We watched Prey for the first time. Well, I watched it for the second time because I had already watched it the day it came out because I couldn't hold my excitement anymore. But by the end of it, I remember this vividly because Danner, I was watching Danner's reaction because I knew he was going to have a problem when the character said the line. I was like, oh boy, here we go. And it was as I expected. Danner was like, oh, mother. And then he just took his headphones off and he just stormed off. Like, yeah, I expected it because
that's the most Danner thing ever.
Because that's the problem, is that the previous film did that, where they use lines like, get to the chopper, or, get to the choppers, they said. Or when Olivia Munn said, you're one beautiful motherfucker. It's like you do these fourth wall breaking lines that really just irritate someone. And in Danner and myself, in our cases, the thing is that when you use certain references, and this is where I'll get into a little bit of a spoiler for Prey, but when you use certain references that, that call back to previous films, you need to make sure that it doesn't feel forced or it feels out of place. And when you look at the line in the original film where Dutch said, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Obviously many people have quoted it and, it's one of Arnold's famous one-liners. With that said, you need to look at the context of that line and why he said what he said. Put yourself in Dutch's shoes and the other survivors. they've already lost 2 guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are isolated. They're most likely low on ammo. They're facing a threat that they can't see. And even the tiniest little spark of hope would inspire them to do something. So when Anna says that, I think that you wounded it because I saw its blood on the leaves, Dutch is like, if it bleeds, we can kill it. And, you know, you just, when you put the context with that line, it kind of lights up a spark and you're like, oh my God, we can actually beat this thing. It's not going to be easy, but we can fucking do it. And then when you take all of that and then you put it into Prey, Naru says, I don't think this thing can be killed. And he says, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Now, in the context, you could say, well, you know, most creatures bleed. Most animals bleed. Humans bleed. So you could say, okay, it kind of makes sense. But it doesn't fit when compared to the original. That line does not fit into that scenario, that situation in Prey, where it's not like they discovered that the predator can bleed. Now, granted, Naru did find the predator's blood on a tree earlier in the film. And I'm kind of surprised that Naru didn't say, if it bleeds, we can kill it, because it would have made more sense then because she saw the predator's blood. Tabe, her brother, he didn't see the blood, at least that we know of. They didn't show it. So it doesn't really fit. That line doesn't really fit for me, and obviously not for Danner either, because I mean, I wish I could have recorded, because his reaction was just priceless. It was absolutely priceless. I was like, yep, I knew it. I knew it was coming. So there's that.
Hell
Damn,
yeah.
you're right, dude. That mofo never did see the blood before he said that. That's he's speculation, man. Speculation.
Right.
But hey, pretty good. What? Daggum, I just had a brain fart. But anyways, I hate when that happens. But do you guys have anything else? I guess again, I know we're kind of like diving in the barrel for like finding something negative for both of these movies. Caleb, do you have anything else?
I do, but I wanted to give you guys a chance to put some input because I didn't want to dominate the stream.
I know that's okay. Hey, you are our guest. Our job is to make you look good, my friend. And so far, you're doing excellent because, again, you are the big Predator fan, and we love that. Again, we're glad you're here. And before you get to your next point, National Trails, welcome to Good Real Hunting. Naro said to Tabe, I'm smarter than a beaver. Yes, she indeed did say that.
I laughed at that because
okay, I'll go ahead and throw it out there. Sometimes both of these movies don't offer what we call the best catchphrases or the best lines.
Well, here's the thing.
That one's good.
I mean, yeah, that you're absolutely right, Brett. My counter argument to some of the cheesy lines in the first film is that it was meant to be that way. Remember what we said earlier? It's an 80s action film mixed with sci-fi horror. So you were expecting, yeah. I mean, you just watch Rambo, you watch any other 80s action film. Hell, watch, like Total Recall. There's so many cheesiness to it, but that was the intention. And so that's why you would expect it. And that's why I give it a pass in that film, because that's what they were trying to do in the first place. Of course, when it got to the serious points where the Predator was killing people, the joking,
it's gone.
It took a nosedive down. It was basically non-existent. Unlike the 2018 film, which was everything was a joke. Very little was taken seriously. Which, just as a quick side note, Prey does a good job of being serious. It's not a fucking comedy. Which, I mean, that's how it stands out from the original, is that it's not like the original in the sense that it's a blend of those two genres. It takes itself seriously all the way through.
Right.
But the last negative I want to get into that I can think of right now. You guys mentioned earlier about a predator fighting a pirate. Well, and speaking also about referencing previous films, Predator 2, the flintlock pistol, Raphael Adolini 1715. That was the engraving on the pistol at the end of Predator 2. That character, Raphael Adolini, is in this movie. Though you don't hear his last name, you do hear one of the French trappers say his name, Raphael. Okay. Mm-hmm. They have this character in the movie, and they have the flintlock pistol in this movie. A big mistake. One of the reasons is because the character meant nothing to the story. Like, if you took him out of the film, nothing would change. You could literally replace his character with a different character. What they did was they retconned a comic story, a fantastic comic story that was a short story from Dark Horse back in 1996. It was called Dark Horse's anthology series. I'm kind of butchering the name, but the story was called Predator 1718, I believe, and it gave backstory to that flintlock pistol that we saw at the end of Predator 2. And the Predator's line at the end of that film where he said, "Take it," actually has meaning in this comic. And I'm going to give a brief rundown. So Raphael Adolini was a pirate captain. Now, just imagine Pirates of the Caribbean meets Predator. Just kind of juggle that in your brain a little bit. That's kind of what this was.
Greatest movie ever.
There you go. And what this film or what this little comic did is give some backstory to the character and meaning to the line of "Take it." Basically, Raphael and the Predator, Greyback, it's called Greyback, the elder Predator we see at the end of Predator 2, is a younger Predator back in 1718, and he comes across Raphael Adolini. And they fight, and they have like a nice duel, but Raphael's pirate crew betrays him because they had some treasure, and they were trying to steal the treasure while Raphael was trying to give it back to a church. And the Predator and Raphael team up to take on the rest of Adolini's crew. That way they can get back to fighting each other in like an honorable duel. But before they can get back to fighting each other, one of Raphael's crew shoots him in the back, and then the Predator kills that guy. And as Raphael is lying on the ground dying, he takes his flintlock pistol, he gives it to the Predator, he says, "Take it." Obviously, you're referencing Predator 2, where the Predator tosses the flintlock. And this little comic, it was a very short story. It was fantastic. It gave a nice bit of backstory to that whole scene, and it gave more meaning to the end of Predator 2. Prey does nothing with that. It literally makes the character a nothing burger. He's a useless character that was put in there for shameless fan service. And that's one of the I mean, it took a lot out of me because I being a fan of the expanded material and how it enhanced my enjoyment of Predator 2, it pissed me off. It genuinely made me upset. And as I explained that to Danner, he was like, "My God, I get exactly what you're saying." And I agree on some level, because when you do these references, I mean, it's obviously nice to reference and give respect to the original or what came previously. But if you don't need to do it, if you really want to stand on your own, you don't need to include that bit of fan service, right? Because as I said, if you take that character and you take that pistol out of the picture, nothing happens. Nothing new happens. Nothing significant happens. And I do find it funny, though, because we do know that flintlock pistol gets into the hands of the Predators in 1997. So obviously Naru doesn't hold on to it for very long, I guess, because the Predators have it. So kind of make of that what you will. But I mean, that's something that really took me out of the film. As someone who enjoys the expanded material, it took me out, and that's sort of what made me lower the rating. The rest of the film is really good, although another part that I'll briefly touch on is the ending, where the Predator had a weakness that I found kind of questionable, where his spear gun is tied to his targeting system. That's not a problem, but the Predator falls victim to that in the end. That's his undoing. His ignorance of his own technology is what kills him, and that's what upsets me, because earlier in the film, and not even that far back, but when Naru and Tabe were both fighting the Predator before Tabe dies, spoilers.
It's okay. We already gave the spoiler warning.
So the Predator, his mask got knocked off, if you guys remember, and the laser targeting is connected to the Predator's spear gun that he uses. And the Predator was taking the spear gun and trying to shoot Tabe as he was moving. The Predator is obviously noticing that he's missing his shots. Yeah, he's literally got like a straight shot. He's following Tabe, and the shots are missing. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, the Predator must realize that the targeting system on his mask is connected to the weapon, right? You would think the Predator should know his own technology, right? So he would learn from that mistake, because the Predators are cunning. They adapt to their situations. And this Predator, I guess, didn't, because at the end of the film, obviously he realizes that his mask is gone. Obviously. So, and he knows that the targeting system on that mask is tied to his weapon. So he should have thought to himself, maybe my opponent, Naru, is going to use my own mask against me. Right? No, he doesn't. He doesn't think about that we know of. And he ends up dying from his own shot. And this could have easily been fixed if the Predator was like, hey, I'm missing my mask. I'm using my spear gun that's connected to my mask. My mask is missing, and now I'm trapped in this quicksand. And he shoots at her, and again, it doesn't go right at her. And then he realizes the very last second, hey, there's my mask to my left or to my right. And then he's fucking dead. I found it to be very cartoony. I found it to be, yeah, I mean, I found that very cartoony and cheesy, and it's like this Predator was a badass up until that point where he doesn't know his own technology and he dies from it.
Yeah, I thought about that as well in the midst, because I mean, I figured if he knew that the targeting system was not on his head, then it's clearly not going to work. I don't know what he was planning on hitting there, but I definitely I get that for sure. And all that stuff with Raphael, I didn't know that either. That was cool.
Yeah, I had no clue about that. So that was very interesting that you brought it up.
I recommend that you guys check it out. It's a very short comic. It's a very simple story, and it gives some context to Predator 2. And then when you see that, and then you look at how they included the character in this film, it's like, well, you're right. This guy means nothing to the plot. He was just there for fan service.
I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, I mean, just cut him out of the film. It's like, well, not necessary. Doesn't affect the rest of the film at all. Didn't need to be there.
Nah, and I can see that for sure. But yeah, just for someone that I didn't personally know that, it didn't bother me. But I can easily see now where that can like bother some fans of like the comic and all that. So I totally understand that. So let me get 2 quick comments here, and then we can get into the next category. Let's see here. Nick Cooling said, I'll take that as a compliment since the beaver is one of our national animals. Yep, that's right. Canada. The beavers. All right, let's see here. And then, of course, Megan Cat says, Brett, that acid is fantastic. God, except for the cough part of it. But no, I appreciate that. Hopefully, I could use that to my talents for the Stranded fan film that Bacon and BPP Originals is working on.
Absolutely, dude. It's gonna be freaking rock solid, man.
Oh man,
Kicking
I am so looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and jump into our next category, guys, and that is pretty much sorry. See, there it is. Okay, what does it do better than Prey? Actually, let me go ahead and go with Brad this time first. So Brad, what do you think Predator does better than Prey?
Well, I think the biggest thing is originality, because this is where it all begins, right? This is kind of where we get
always love playing the originality card.
Well, it's easy, right? I mean, it is because Prey comes in, it does a lot of things really well, but it doesn't really do much original per se. I mean, it does add some we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I think what it was really unique, especially in '87, like you said earlier, Caleb, is you come into this Predator movie. It starts off like an action flick, like you're watching Rambo. They're going to save some people. Mercenaries going in the woods. It's basically Rambo 2. We're going Rambo 2, and we're going in the woods as mercenaries. We're going to freaking save some hostages and shit, and we're going to get the hell out of Dodge. But only they don't. It's the fan about a little less than halfway through, I guess you could say. It pulls a Dusk Till Dawn. It does a complete 180. It starts off as a classic action flick, and now it's a damn monster movie. Apollo Creed versus the Italian Stallion style. It sounds like a damn monster movie.
There you go.
So that's what we get. That's what we have going on here, and I think that's cool. That's pretty much 2 movies in one, 2-for-1 special. You get some Arnold, you get Stick Around, you get all the one-liners, you get all that good stuff from the 80s, and then you get some freaking badass monsters. And then they, bring us this new, fresh freaking monster on top of it, years after Alien. With all these new tools and all these new freaking, ways of killing people that we haven't seen before. Some gnarly effects, freaking skinning people alive. All that stuff's never really, it's fresh at this point. And, it invented, or it certainly added on to this genre that we had, this subgenre.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the sci-fi creature horror genre. Absolutely agree with that. Metallic says, "What's going on, Metallic? The mysterious introduction of '87. Yeah, that's awfully damn good because again, '87 we got something new going into Brad's originality, and then Danner actually took what I say that this movie does better. Damn you, Danner. Predator has a better cast. Yes, it does have a better cast. Absolutely agree with that. But to me, I'll even add on to that is that the side characters were easily a lot better than the side characters in Prey. Just because again we got Carl Revers. Someone mentioned earlier in the chat of Jesse the Body Ventura. I ain't got time to bleed. We get so many fun and entertaining characters as side characters. While in Prey, I understand tried to be serious and all that, but the side characters, except for Todd Bray, absolutely a snore fest for the most part. But Todd Bray and Naru and the Predator were so damn good, they pretty much carried the movies on their damn backs for most of it. So not like that's not again. That's why I marked Prey down a little bit. It's just those side characters for me.
Yeah. To add on to what some of the chat is saying, where they were talking about the mysterious introduction of '87. To add on to that is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is a hell of a lot better in Predator than in Prey. The scenes having not just the action scenes, but the quiet moments where the characters are waiting in the bush, trying to wait for the Predator to fall into their trap. The music and the intrigue. When Anna is giving her story about how only on the hottest years this happens with the Predator coming to Earth and having that music play in the background. And as I said earlier, music plays a huge part in movies and touching the human soul, if you will. And when you hear the soundtrack in Predator and you hear the mystery of it, it kind of gives you chills. Like, there's something out there waiting for us and it ain't no man. It kind of gives you chills with that soundtrack. I mean, that Predator has that in spades. With the soundtrack is a hell of a lot better. And I also say that the creature design is better. I like Prey's Predator design until the mask comes off. The unmasked version seems a little weird to me. The way I chalk it up is it's kind of like a mix between the original Predator and the big Predators from the Predators 2010, because it has that sort of facial design. And I will say this, that I can respect what the filmmakers are trying to do with making this Predator be different, because you don't want to just copy the same thing over and over necessarily. Very few franchises are able to do that and be successful. So seeing a new Predator is nice, though. I think we've seen so many new Predator designs. They have this whole Hollywood out like a mindset of bigger is better. Obviously that didn't work out with the 2018 film, right, Danner? Fucking 12-foot Predator, right? I mean, it's just. But I mean, I think that this that Prey's Predator is better than the 2018 one. So I mean, that is something. But aside from that, the original Jungle Hunter, that face and just the entire body. I mean, the design was so unique for the time. And it's crazy to believe that that's not how the Predator originally looked. The original design was much more bug-like. And if you
until they found Kevin Peter Hall.
Yeah, and Stan Winston. So just as a quick little side story, John McTiernan, the director, if you watch the making of Predator, in an interview, he says that when they got the suit down into location, John McTiernan was like, "What the hell is this?" And so they did some test footage with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Funny enough, he was going to be the Predator originally, but the suit didn't work and Van Damme didn't work, and so Arnold Schwarzenegger actually recommended that they talk to Stan Winston because he worked with Stan Winston on the first Terminator. And so we can give credit to Stan Winston for coming up with the Predator design that we know and love. And of course, when we get the original Predator design and we see that Predator unmasked at the end of the film, I mean, that was such a huge reveal, and it's so memorable, and the creature looks so realistic. Like, it doesn't look like a cheesy monster mask. It looks like, it has all these facial expressions. It's sweating, it's wet. It feels authentic. And that's why I love it so much, because it doesn't look like just some cheesy monster. It looks like something tangible, something real. Of course, it's not
Yeah.
real, but you get the point.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's another thing it does is the effects in general are better in the Predator. The original Predator, I should say. Yeah, I thought there was a lot of really poor CGI in the new one. Now that's mostly because the budget was really low. It's a Hulu movie. It's going straight to
Right.
streaming. It's not going to get that budget.
Right.
But even back in '87, the effects were great. We're seeing people skinned alive and shit and all that stuff like that. Like it was good. Another thing that I think that that Predator does do really good, and something I wanted to see a little bit more of in Prey at times is more of the slow burn, kind of waiting to see what this Predator is all about, because I saw it. They kind of built up his abilities kind of pretty slow in Prey, which I thought was good. But you saw him really early. You saw a spaceship and everything. Like you just
Right.
he was there, and then the spaceship, and then he's there like sneaking, skinning snakes and shit.
Yeah.
Which was cool, badass scene. But what I liked about Predator is the fact that we're finding this shit out as our protagonists are finding things out. They're going through the jungle, they see this fucking skinned dude up there, like, what the fuck have we gotten ourselves into? And they're
Right.
kind of running into this one piece at a time, uncovering clue after clue after clue. Whereas we and Prey are kind of we're giving a heads up as the audience. We're seeing what's going on already. And we're seeing that the Predator is out there fucking, tearing shit up and whatnot. So I thought it would have been cooler just to kind of get Naru's reactions and stuff, and then us not know exactly what happened yet, and then they kind of clash. I thought the bear scene would have been a perfect scene to see the Predator for the first time in Prey. That would have been fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude, I absolutely agree. And I thought, according to the trailer, that's what we originally was supposed to get. But we got a lot of stuff, and I don't mind it just because, again, y'all know the whole Predator shtick and all that, so there's no point of building it up again, because kind of like with the original, because I understand that, but I absolutely agree with you guys though. Like the slow build would have been excellent for this particular one, just because, again, we're going back to the basic roots. Thank you, Little Roots. Yes. So I absolutely agree with that. Let me get these two chats through here, because we got two new people in the chat right now. We got Matt Fauci,
Sexy
Fauci,
SOB.
Matt Fauci, you son of a bitch. Frick, yeah. God, man. Manly man right there. So anyways, Fauci says, Prey is badass, but Predator is Arnold being a macho man. A macho man.
There you
Macho man. I got to be a macho man, but nobody wants me. I promised Brad I wouldn't sing anymore, so I apologize. But anyways, I know I can't help it, dude. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me sing. No, I'm just kidding. And of course, freaking Chad. What's going on, man? OG, although Prey was badass, and of course, oh no, sorry, that's Tanner just saying spoons. Yes. Yeah, and I agree with Chad, though. The OG is freaking amazing. Really hard to top. But Prey is easily the second. I would think that's safe to assume now that Prey is the second best in the franchise. In the comic section, if there's a movie that's number 2 that's different from Prey, let us know, because again, on this channel, we love different opinions.
Faux show.
Oh gosh, Caleb. Yeah, I got the 2 fingers stuff. So what's number 2?
Predator 2 is my second. As far as my ranking is concerned, see, here's the thing. Something that I wanted to touch on that Brad mentioned earlier is that as far as the originality is concerned, Prey does go back to its roots with the original Predator, and it feels similar in that aspect, but that's not always a good thing. Something that I can applaud Predator 2 for doing is that it took the franchise into a different direction, or at least in a different environment. And I still think it did well. I mean, don't get me wrong. Predator 2 has a lot of problems, and I will acknowledge them wholeheartedly. With that said, Predator 2 did what a sequel is supposed to do, which is to expand the lore on the universe that they're creating. Prey, that's something I didn't mention that Prey doesn't do well, is that it didn't expand the lore of the Predators very much. Like, obviously, we get a new Predator. We see that the technology is a little bit more primitive. So you could say that is a sort of expansion of technology of the lore, which I will acknowledge. With that said, Predator 2 did what it was supposed to, which is to expand the lore, give us a better idea of what the Predator
pretty much give us double of everything. That's
Yeah, I
usually what a
mean,
sequel is supposed to do.
yeah, and I mean, it wasn't like, oh, bigger is better, because it was still a very simplistic thing that Predator 2 did.
Mhm.
You didn't see too much of an advancement. I mean, you saw different weapons, like you saw the smart disc, you saw the
Right.
stick, you saw an enhanced visions. So what it improved on, it seemed tangible. That it seemed like, okay, this is naturally where we would see a progression of the technology from the first Predator to the second one. Prey doesn't do much different with the franchise. It is back to basics, but they should have been a little bit more risky with what they were doing.
Right.
So that's why I have Predator 2 as still the second best. Now, I will say that Prey does a little bit better of a job than Predators, because I found the story in Prey as well as the characters to be more enjoyable. One of my biggest issues I have with Predators is that the characters aren't as likable compared to the first three, that being Predator, Predator 2, and Prey, as far as
Mhm.
my ranking is concerned. And I was sort of debating with this on whether or not Predators was better than Prey, but I've come to the conclusion that I think that Prey was better than Predators. Better characters, a little bit more of a simple story that I can get into, and it harkens me back to the original, and it doesn't have me rolling my eyes too much compared to Predators, which, like with how they did Lawrence Fishburne dirty. I was kind of like,
Oh gosh, yeah.
he was
Yeah.
such he's a fantastic actor, and he just turned out to be some crazy guy. It's like, no, that's not how you handle Lawrence Fishburne of all people.
No.
So that's why, I mean, as far as rankings are concerned, it's Predator, Predator 2, Prey, Predators, AVP, and then AVPR, and then the Predator. That's like my ranking.
Oh, there you go. We're gonna save ours just because we are thinking about doing a video for it.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you bringing that ranking up, and also like to go with the Predator 2. I can't say much about it right now because of an upcoming video. I will talk about it. But so stay tuned to the channel so you know when I'm going to be talking about it. And then before, actually, real quick, like, do y'all have anything else quickly about what Predator does better than Prey?
I think I'm ready to rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Bust
same
through
here.
the rest of it. Bust
Okay.
it through.
All right, let's
I don't know
before
where
we
that's coming
get
from.
yeah, what the hell was that all about? But
don't
anyways, Cody Snyder, I want to get in real quick. I love how Southern bread is. Is that really that bad tonight?
Dude, yeah. Not
Okay.
tonight though. I mean, it's just it's just an accent. It's an
Well, it's
accent,
funny
man.
because
What
I'm
you
farther.
having too?
Well, it's funny because I'm farther down south than you guys are. I should be having the more thick Southern accent. You would
Yeah,
think.
leave this Tennessean alone. But nah, I'm messing, guys. Let's go into another category here, and this time it's what does Prey do better? What Prey does better? So I'll go ahead and kind of go first with this one. What I think Prey does better than Predator. It's just in my opinion, the action sequences were a lot better. But again, it's like different years and all that, so like different technologies and all that, and different weapons and all that. So I get it. Like, I'm not saying the Predator doesn't have any good action or kills. Trust me, absolutely it does. But Prey literally made me scream, "Oh shit!" a lot.
Yeah.
With all its kills and all that. So that's like for me, something that Prey does better than Predator.
Oh
mean,
shit.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I'll add on to that. Seeing the Predator actually like tear off somebody's arm was pretty intense. I mean, we obviously saw that in the original Predator. It's just the fight scenes. Like, I think that most Predator fans were always like, "Damn, why couldn't we see Billy versus the Predator?" Right? We never saw the fight, and then they did the same thing in Predator 2 with King Willie, where it's King Willie versus the Predator, but we never see the fight. At least this time we actually get to see the fight, and it's brutal. I mean, I laughed. Okay, I laughed when the Predator literally just like tossed a guy. He just threw the guy, and then you hear the Wilhelm scream. I laughed my ass off. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, the stormtrooper.
Yeah,
I wonder
yeah.
what that was called because that's one of my favorite sound effects ever. Going ah.
Yeah, it's called.
It doesn't sound like that, but
yeah, it's called the Wilhelm scream. It first appeared like in like early black and white films, I believe, and I can't remember the exact details, but regardless,
oh man, I thought Star Wars created that.
No, it was around
Damn
a lot
it.
longer.
Yeah,
But
they definitely used it though.
but I think that with the fight scenes, I agree 100% that like seeing the Predator take on a bear. Of course, the bear was CGI, with that said, it was still a kick-ass fight scene. I mean,
Oh,
just
yeah, it
seeing the
was.
Predator, just like I laughed when the Predator literally just punched the bear. He's just like, I was like, God damn, this Predator is he's not fucking around. That's for certain.
God,
That was
especially
badass as a mofo, dude.
we get that freaking badass cinematography shot, which I say is the best cinematography shot in the entire franchise. Is where he lifts the bear and the blood starts pouring, and
Yeah.
you see the
That was cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude! I freaked out
was-
so hard there because I was like, "That's shot beautiful." Like I wish I would have saw that in the damn theater.
Well, not to
Yes,
mention when
right?
Naru and him's duking it out in the fog, and she jumps up on him. It's just freaking like,
Yeah.
up on, just freaking wearing him out on top of him. And
Yeah.
then also, she had a badass sequence, like a one take action sequence where she was in there, and that was when she was duking it out with the French people. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
goes in there to get her.
Mhm.
She's trying to get her axe back, her hatchet. She goes in there.
Suck
and
a
it's just like,
blue.
oh, it's badass. She keeps trying to get it, and she keeps kind of getting pulled away. Like that was a good scene. That was
Yes.
good, well choreographed, well freaking shot, one take action at the best. And I love scenes like that. I think it's awesome, and it turned out really well. And she was a badass. And
Complete badass.
yeah,
It was definitely entertaining. I'll say that.
Mhm.
Prey. I mean, Predator isn't boring. I'm just giving some praise to Prey that it's a very entertaining movie. There were very few moments where I was actually bored. I was connected most of the time. I will say this also, that they improved the graphics of the vision for the Predator better than the original. Obviously, again, 1987, less advanced technology back in the day, but they were able to fine tune the Predator's heat vision in this film, which was nice, and they did have the sound. So that's also really good that they kept it in there, and it's good. I like that.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And I liked it too, along with the fight sequences. Brad, what did you think Prey does better than Predator?
I'll tell you what I like, man. I like the character development that we get from this with Naru.
Yes.
I like the arcs. Honestly,
Very strong.
Obviously Arnold's badass. We love Arnold. We love seeing him, but he's just Arnold in the movie. He's the same Arnold as always. He's the same Arnold as Commando, as fucking anything but Terminator. It's the same dude.
Right.
The 80s guys, one-liners. Now we get actual real character Naru in the movie, and I thought it was really cool.
I thought for a second, sorry, Brad. I could have swore for a second you said Haru. Hi, I am Haru.
I am
Taki
Haru.
Taki Dojo.
Did I say ninja? I meant ninny. Okay. Anyway, brother. All right. Okay. So yeah, I really appreciated her arc throughout the movie. Just trying to prove herself, a female warrior in the 1700s, trying to prove herself to her tribe and whatnot. And I thought that was really cool to really add the hunting aspect of her as a part of the plot line. Was really cool, just the, and really turning the Predator around and making the Predator the prey, because that is what it is to her. That's the prey. He's trying, she's trying to hunt him down. Hence the, changing the title. I thought that was really cool and creative. I really appreciated the arc. I was really emotionally invested in her character more so than I ever was in Arnold's. As I didn't really care at the end of the day if he blew away the Predator or if he got blown away. But yeah, he was fun to watch, but hers I was actually emotionally invested in. I wanted her to succeed, and I thought that was just again, it's just it comes down to kind of the writing, I guess, is a little bit more when it comes to the characters. It was good.
Hell yeah. And dude, and that is actually a damn great point, because I was so invested in the Naru character and the character development on that. And I even say in my written review, that this is to me female empowerment done right. Just because it's the 1700s. This is a time frame where girls just want to be more than staying in the village and taking care of everything. This was done right. It wasn't forced. It naturally flowed, and I will always praise the movie for that.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go heavy-handed with identity politics, because that shit annoys the fuck out of me. And they could have done that.
Oh, trust me, you even got a whole show where you freaking go all kinds of hell on that. But,
I mean, Danner and I know about this stuff quite a bit when we talk about it a lot. But I'm glad they didn't go heavy-handed with it, which means that I can enjoy the movie more. And I agree with you guys. I did like that. It was the story of the main character was a lot more fleshed out. With Arnold, there wasn't as much of a story to flesh out because it was never meant to be that per se. of course, at the time, we wouldn't know if Dutch would have survived his encounter with the Predator. I mean, we know that Arnold's a badass, and usually you wouldn't see an 80s action hero actually die. Although I will say that Predator, it could have easily gone down that way. I mean, having pre expectations about 80s action heroes, we honestly think, okay, well, there's no way he's going to die. Although for me, at least when I first watched it, I thought that Dutch might have bit the bullet. He could have easily died because the Predator had him after the Predator shoots him with the plasma caster. After they go through this sort of cat and mouse game, and Dutch falls into the water, and the Predator has his wrist blades on that piece of wood, and he's got him pinned down. The Predator right there could have just killed him. It would have been over. But the Predator had an honor code. He realized that, okay, this guy isn't like the usual brutes. This guy is smart. He's cunning. He actually used the Predator's own tactics against him. Having camouflage, hiding in trees, using projectile weapons. And of course they were able to do that again with Prey just a little bit, not as much as Predator, but regardless, I still think that they did a really good job with Naru and her sort of training and trying to beat the Predator. I thought that it was nice, and I also like the line where she says, "This is as far as you go. This is it." I thought that was a pretty cool line.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that. Gosh, right. That whole little monologue where she's talking like straight ahead, and that Frenchman was coming up behind her, and we all thought, like, oh, she's talking about the Frenchman and all that, but no, she was looking into the damn woods, talking to the Predator right before their big fight in the third act, which is badass.
Yeah.
And let me get these comments real quick, and then Caleb will ask you, what do you think Prey does better? Metallic says, because you got mentioned this, Caleb, Prey explained the Predator's honor code better. And I'll be honest, I kind of 50-50, but I'll probably say I do lean more towards Prey, because again, with the bear trap scene and where she got trapped, and the Predator
added to it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Metallic, that is a great point, my friend. Of course, us Tennessee, fuck yeah. Gotta give that to freaking Mega. And then, gosh almighty. National Trail says, in another online discussion, the prop man said the same type of cigar that Clint Eastwood smoked in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was used in Prey.
Interesting.
Hell Very yeah, nifty. Dude, that's awesome. Man, I bet y'all were surprised I knew what that initials were.
Maybe a little bit.
I actually am surprised.
I mean,
suck it, Sean.
I did see the Clint Eastwood thing in there, so I was like, oh, I think I know where this is going.
Oh, yeah. And then Danner says, I don't like when Naru hit the bear trap. Her groaning wasn't convincing. It sounded like she had to take a dump.
Yeah.
What are you doing back there? Taking a dump?
I agree. That is something that we did point out, that when Naru gets into the bear trap, she doesn't scream in pain very much. It was more like, ow, I stubbed my toe.
Like freaking Diddy Kong in freaking Nintendo 64.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. But yes, guys, on Good Will Hunting, I did use a freaking Donkey Kong reference. Live with it, baby. I love Donkey Kong. But anyways, Caleb, what do you think Prey does better than the Predator?
Well, like we said earlier, I think that they giving us more backstory for our main protagonist was better executed. Granted, of course, Predator is never meant to be a solo story.
Explored.
Right. It was a movie about a group of people rather than mainly focusing on one with Prey. So if you're the kind of person that enjoys a movie about focusing on one particular protagonist instead of a group of them, then Prey might be your go-to. And so in that case, it does do better. Although me personally, I would say that I enjoy Predator's simplistic story a little more. But I do enjoy Prey. I do enjoy Naru as a character. Of little things that could have probably smoothed out for me personally. But it doesn't take me out of the movie too much. I think that all things considered, this movie executed what it was trying to do very well. And so in that case, it does a really good job. I do enjoy some of the camera work a little bit more than Predator, and that's very brief. There are some shots, of the landscape where I think they did a lot better. I remember, because I was actually watching Predator earlier today, where they had a shot of the top of the jungle just a little bit. I obviously like it because it was very dark and mysterious, but at the same time, I like how Prey was able to show off their landscapes better. I mean, you see a whole lot more of the mountains in the distance, and it looked beautiful. And the ending, where it's Naru versus the Predator with the snow, I thought that was the cinematography and the visuals was excellent. It was pretty kick ass. I didn't know that they could make Predators in the snow look so badass after the first AVP, but they did a good job here. They have a happy balance of having some jungle esque area with snow in the background. It's like it was nice. It was nice cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
So that is something I think that Prey did a little bit better than Predator, but just a little bit. Just a little.
Yeah, and I agree with the cinematography part because again, it's 2022, and I'll be completely honest, you have no reason to not make a movie look great cinematography wise with all the technologies we have. But and I was worried with a Hulu budget they wouldn't do it, but with that first trailer in this movie, they did an excellent job. My favorite one, again, I already explained what my favorite shot was, but another great one is when Naru was looking over a ledge, and it was the dark clouds and all that, hearing about the Thunderbird and all that, aka the Thunderbird being the Predator ship.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a great shot as well.
Yeah.
It was great, man. Yeah, it was fantastic. I'll tell you one thing briefly. I'm almost a little bit more intrigued by the matchup in Prey. Native Americans in 1700s against some dude from outer space with all this other these weapons and shit. Like I like that. Now, not to say that that's a bad matchup in Predator. I just think those dudes, at least initially, obviously the ending's badass when you have Arnold just freaking no guns left, just except for his his big, his guns that don't get ripped off. No guns, just freaking out there duking it out. I like that, but I like the matchup and the setting, man, of the Native Americans, man. I thought that was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, and just Native Americans are badasses. Like when you see them fight and all that. So, hell yeah. Let me get to some more comments here real quickly. Danner Babanner says, I agree that the movie rightfully didn't have any overt feminist pandering with having a female lead. She was interesting regardless. We don't need to be clubbed over the head with that. Yeah, and that was my main point. Like, I don't mind it, but don't force it or this is what we're trying to do. I'm like, I get it. Like, just make it interesting. And that's what they did with Prey. And
write it into her character.
Yeah, exactly.
You write that as a part. Yeah, it makes complete sense, and it's beautifully done. We all get a sense of empowerment at the end when she conquers. I thought that.
When she gives her battle cry, I thought that was really nice.
Oh yeah. It's just like the arc of her character right then and there, just like the top of it, like they've been building the entire movie.
Well, hell, man, I mean, for fans of some of these classic films, I mean, just look at Aliens. I think all of us got a big empowering moment when Ripley steps out with the freaking power lord. She says, "Get away from her, you bitch!" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" It's like, let's do this, right? Take on that damn alien, right?
Yeah, fuck the queen.
Yeah.
And then Danner says DK64 is in my top 5 Nintendo 64 games of all time. Well, hell, I'm glad I was able to reference that for you in tonight's show. You never know what can happen on Good Rule Hunting. And then Nick Cooling says Prey does a better job at using less letters in his title. Thanks, Nick. That's great. Nick is such a good dude. And Eric Clegg, what's going on, my friend? Hello, everyone. I still haven't watched Prey. Obviously, I'm not sensitive to any spoilers with this movie, or else I wouldn't risk it being here, which we appreciate that and welcome, Aaron. And we've done good for the most part about spoilers, except Caleb dropping that big bomb during it. But again, we gave the spoiler warning, so that's okay. Oh, wait, I've already clicked on that. So sorry, I was meant to click on that. And then, actually, let me get this last question. Did y'all have real briefly anything else for what Prey did better?
No, we're running pretty short on time as well. So if you have anything, throw it in there, of course. But
right, I was just trying to get to this one comment real quick, and then we'll do our movie thoughts and movie rating, and then what's coming up on the channel pretty quickly. Because again, we understand. Let's see here. I just want to get this comment. The King of a Nation saying, does Prey deliver to the point where another film could be built off of it? I say you can.
Yeah.
Just because plus I feel like that's their plan initially. If it does good enough, they'll continue on this. Not like as like a trilogy or anything,
Mhm.
but it's just kind of like a little, in a way, anthology, but still use the predator creature.
More Predator movies can be spawned from this. And I don't know if you two watched through the end credits, the animated credits, that is, not the actual black and white credits. But if you get to the very end of the animated credits, there's actually a little bit of a scene there. It's not like a live action scene, but it. I'll say this because I really don't want to spoil it because I'm guessing you guys haven't seen it. So
I have
go
not,
back to
no.
Prey and then start watching through the animated credits because
Okay.
you get to see a little something, and that little something says, yeah, I think maybe we might be seeing more of Naru and the Comanche tribe and the Predators.
All right.
Love it.
Brad, what do you think? Real quick.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's definitely sparked. This has sparked way more interest in the Predator franchise than the last movie did. 2018 movie ever did. Absolutely. Yeah. There's people that this is stirring it up. So I think there's definitely a lot more interest in the franchise now, and they could definitely build on it.
I said not even close. But so all right, guys. Real quickly, again with the time, what is, like briefly, overall thoughts and a movie rating? Caleb, I know you did the movie rating at the beginning already, but you're going to be using what we call the good real scale, which is on a scale of 0.5 to 5. So, what are your overall thoughts on both movies? Which one did you prefer, and the movie rating?
Okay, so I'll start out with Prey. I thought Prey was a strong reintroduction to the Predator franchise. If this is people's first exposure to the franchise, I say that it's a decent start. Just make sure to go watch the other ones. Avoid the 2018 film. I would say avoid the first or the two AVP films for right now. Just make sure that you get Predator and Predator 2 out of the way first after you watch Prey, if Prey is your first introduction. As far as a rating goes, out of, from 0.5, as you said, I'd say it's about well, actually, the King of the Nation pretty much sums it up for me, a 3.75. It's a decent movie. It does a lot right. It's just with those little things, it holds back my scaling, but it's certainly not a terrible movie. It's a fun movie. It does a lot right with the franchise. With the original Predator, I mean, that's a 5 out of 5 for me all the way. It's one of my first proper franchises aside from like Star Wars and Godzilla. So I hold this franchise very dear to my heart. I love the Predator franchise. I love the Predator character. The design is fantastic. The original 1987 film will never be beat for me because it was the first time we get introduced to such a unique creature, and that soundtrack it really can't be beat unless you count Predator 2. But I say it's more of a, like, think of the original Predator soundtrack as a nice vanilla or chocolate ice cream, whichever is your preference. And then Predator 2 comes along and adds in the sprinkles. That's how I chalk up that. But yeah, Prey 3.75, Predator original 5.5.
So a freaking golden reel for Predator for Caleb. That's badass, man. So Brad, brief overall thoughts. Which movie do you prefer better, and a movie rating?
I love both these movies a lot. Predator, I thought, is an awesome freaking 80s movie. A lot of fun times, great cast, great time throughout. Badass. I love the 180 it turns halfway through the flick. It's cool. Prey, I am a person who really likes characters and growth and character arcs and things like that. So I really was more drawn to the the character of Naru and some of the stuff they were doing with the new one. That being said, obviously Predator I think is better. I'd give Predator a 4.5. And I'd give Prey a 4.25. It's close. It may get even closer as time goes on. I don't know. But yeah, I can't put it above Predator by any means at this point anyway.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. Just because, again, we just love the good old classic Predator movie. Like, it really honestly can't be touched. I prefer Predator over Prey, but it's not much at all. Like, it's a really close race, and like I'm like with Brad, it could possibly get like Prey could possibly be better maybe in the future. You never know. It'll be very tough, but never say never. But for me, Predator, absolutely love it. Love the whole the Predator creature. I love freaking Dutch, Dylan, and those side characters. They make the movie fun. Yeah, Dylan, you son of a bitch. And then yeah. Oh man, dude, it's so great. I absolutely love it. I can play it at any time. So I give the original Predator a 4.5 out of 5. And then Prey, absolutely love how they go into this particular direction in the Predator franchise. They finally answered our prayers to finally giving us a good Predator movie. Like, about damn time. It's just go to simple formula and to the simple and go to the roots of it. I love the Naru character. I love the action sequences. I love the third act. Such a great time. On the movie scale, I really want to do a 4.5. Like, that's what I did on Letterboxd, but really a technicality to me, it's a 4.25 out of 5.
I dig it.
Yeah, so can we do quick math real quick with I say okay, let's freaking go ahead and do with Predator. That's easily with the math and all that. That's welcome to prime. That's prime time, baby.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah, and then Prey, Brad, I think with the 3.75 with my 4.25 and your...
It'll be a dance with Jimbo.
Yeah, let's freaking get Jimbo on that dance floor real quick.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
rocking and rolling.
Rocket and a rolling. And then I'll get these two comments, and we're going to explain what's coming up on all of our channels and how you all can vote to make the official decision on which movie is the ultimate Predator. Yes, I'm using that tagline. Look, dig with it. Nick Cooling says the next movies are Predator Kills and Predator Ends.
Oh no!
Thanks, Nick.
No. Predator Kills. No, not. Well, what would it be? Hunters Die Tonight, or something like that.
Hunters Die Tonight.
Oh, God.
Oh man! And then Gory Tiger saying, what I said earlier, a Predator anthology movie would be awesome to show the Predator through different cultures and times. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've explained throughout the most of this stream. So we absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. That'd be really cool. So
All
what
right.
different things you can do with it?
Oh, dude, so many freaking things you can do with it. So, Caleb, just again, we want to appreciate you taking time out of your day to come join us on this particular Slash It Out. We knew you were a Predator fan, so we knew we had to have you on. So we appreciate you. What's coming up on the Dark Aether Files podcast?
Well, so we got, I believe, and I have to confirm this with the rest of my co-hosts. We have a conclusion to Carter's live stream for the Harry Potter films. We're finally getting to the very last Deathly Hallows Part 2, first time watch for me. So we have that coming up. We also have, of course, Hollowscreen review series, Halloween 4. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
I want to take this time to thank you guys for getting me in on this review series, because our channel has grown exponentially, and it was really surprising. I mean, just that first the skit that I did to promote Hollowscream on the Sunday before the first release, I mean, that's got 125 views now. It's one of our highest watched videos. It's fantastic. Cool. So thank you guys very much for including us on that. It's amazing. We really appreciate what you guys.
Yeah, and you guys have done a freaking awesome job with those. Your reviews are so cool.
And the presentation of how you're doing it is so different from everybody else's, and that's why we pretty much do this. It's like to get channels like yours more exposure, because I'm challenging guys right now. We need to get freaking the Dark Aether Files podcast to 100 subs. It pisses me off every time that they're still in the 90s, so we need to get them to 100. So please subscribe. Again, their links is in the description down below to their YouTube channel. So freaking click that button, hit that subscribe button, and help out our boys of Caleb and his team in the Dark Aether Files podcast.
Absolutely, dude. Let's get to a hundo.
To the
Let's do
hundo,
it.
man, because there's nothing like that feeling hanging the hundo.
Oh, yeah.
So, Brad, I will do two, and you do two of what's coming up. So when I click, okay. So,
Okie dokie.
all right. So first off, we got the House Scream review series. Like, gosh, I say I'm getting all choked up here, bitch. I can't talk. But freaking the House Scream review series, like Caleb mentioned, it's our Halloween review series that we're doing each and every single Monday. Which Caleb said next Monday is going to be freaking Halloween 4. We got these amazing YouTubers right here, while also Chris doing his letterbox reviews. He's been doing an excellent job freaking writing his little freaking hands off, just making those reviews. So everybody's been doing an excellent job. And then for me personally, I will be on Kyle Fletch's channel of Return to Living Fred tomorrow on 8 o'clock Eastern time, and I will of course be joined by the wonderful, awesome Destiny. So we will both be on Kyle's channel tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes, and then Sunday at 8 p.m. we're doing a watch party for Bride of Chucky. It's our first Patreon pick, actually. Antonis and Drodis picked this movie, Bride of Chucky, Sunday at 8, and we're excited about this because we haven't done a lot of Chucky stuff on the channel really at all. So this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely a good time. And Brad, explain next Wednesday or next Wednesday's freaking Good Rule Hunting live stream.
Tearing it up. Now we've all seen the list of the top 20 scariest movies based on science, right? It's going around. For Sinister was on top of it for the longest time. I think Host is now. So it's bounced. It's a lot. Everybody's seen the list. We're gonna take those top 20 movies and we're gonna tear those sons of bitches up by how scary they actually are. I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And Brad, I'll take care of these next three because I'll leave the special announcement to you. Again, I know we've gone way over our intended time, but again, we love the freaking Predator franchise. So we got freaking going with our conversations, but we're not going to leave you empty handed. So we're going to show you something special about October, but I'll let Brad get to that. So let me finish these off real quick. So Patreon's in the chat. We will post this tomorrow on Patreon that we will be having our first official Patreon hangout on Saturday, August the 20th at noon Eastern time. So if you're a patron of the tier of tiers 2 and 3, this one private hangout will be just for you guys. So me and Brad will be there to help you answer any questions that you all have, or if you just want to shoot the shit, we'll just shoot the shit. So, again, that's for Patreon tiers 2 and 3 for August the 20th at noon. And we will post that on Patreon tomorrow. And then, of course, me and Destiny, our show Back from the Dead, will be on Sunday, August the 28th at noon Eastern time. And damn, we have a lot of movies to talk about. You see some of the posters right there. So it's going to be freaking another stacked show for Back from the Dead for the August episode. And then we just did this Slash It Out. So what is our next Slash It Out? Well, we are going to be waiting until the week of Halloween 6 before we do our next Slash It Out, is because we got freaking Halloween 6 versus Halloween 6. But this time it's going to be the theatrical cut versus the producer's cut. So we're going to determine once and for all which cut of Halloween 6 is the best.
It's gonna be badass, man. Can't wait for that because they're like different movies entirely, man. So yeah, that's good. We're gonna be doing a review for Halloween 6 that week. Caleb will be there as well, as part of the Halloween Scream Reviews franchise. So that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Brad, I'm going to let you do this part right here because we have not mentioned it yet. But I think it's about time we just throw something a little big to get y'all anticipated for October. Brad, what's freaking in October for Good Rule Hunting?
Ooh, so we kind of mentioned it on social media a while back, but if you guys saw us back in March, if you guys were around, we did the real March Madness, which we took all the movies, the top 64 movies from the 80s. We put this in the big ass tournament and we dwindled it all the way down to one, which is a lot of fucking fun. Spanned over several episodes, of course. So we're doing something similar. It's a new series we're going to do.
Sorry, real quick. Atonis was in the chat. And Atonis, we got you covered right here.
Hell yeah, dude. Gonna be freaking awesome.
Yes,
Stroke
sir.
like a mofo.
Oh, yes. All right. So let me get that back up. And when you're ready, I'll pull up the big announcement.
So yeah, so we're gonna be doing we're a new series. We're gonna do Good Will Haunting is what we do every October. That's what we kind of call ourselves in October. All spooky, all frightening and whatnot. But this year we're starting a new tournament. Every Good Will Haunting, we're gonna cap it off with this. It's a new tournament. It's called Fright Fight. 2022. Same thing. 64 teams. We're gonna dwindle it down to one. What are the teams going to be this year? Well, after Halloween Ends comes out, it just so happens that when you add up Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Child's Play, Saw, Friday the 13th, and Scream all together, it matches up to 64 exactly. So we're going to put all those sons of bitches in one big-ass bracket. We're going to dwindle every movie from every franchise down to one, and that will be the true champion of the fucking bracket. I don't know where I was going with that. But
Gotcha,
that's going to be epic.
Dude, it's going to be epic. And I was like, Brad, are you serious? And then I had to double check myself. And no, Brad, crazy son of a bitch, was right. It goes exactly 64 movies. And dude, it was meant to be. So we're super excited to have that tournament for you for Good Will Hunting. And the coming month, of September, we'll release more for our plans for Good Will Haunting as well, because we're still talking about other little ideas that we're going to do for that whole month as well. Gosh almighty, this damn cough, I want it to go away. Again, we're going to go ahead and close out for the evening, or for the night, that is. And we appreciate every...
Brett's muted like a mofo, but what he wanted to say is that he had a good time tonight, and we want to see you guys all again soon. So, check us out. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Twitter, TikTok, and Patreon. Those links are down below, as is Caleb's for the Dark Ether Files podcast. So be sure to hit that up. Let's get him to 100, man.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I'm so pissed off right now. Of course, I want to cough when I'm trying to talk. And then, of course, what did you all think about Prey and Predator? Which one do you think is the ultimate Predator? Let us know in the comment section down below. Of course, we always get that discussion rolling. But more importantly, check our YouTube community and our Facebook pages, or Facebook page tomorrow at noon, where we'll release the official poll. So you guys decide which movie is officially the best and who wins this particular Slash It Out episode. And of course, if you want to help support Good Will Hunting, because we're on that quest right now, we're pretty damn close. Like, we're getting there, man, of 1,000 subscribers. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so you all know when the next live Slash It Out and other feature videos are up and ready.
Right, you are.
Oh, hell yeah, guys. So without further ado, we're going to freaking close out. Caleb, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody in the chat, 15 people right now. That's badass. We always appreciate you guys. You make this channel a success, and we can never thank you guys enough. But until then, we will see you all guys on Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern time.